Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is FPL Roxas, and today I'll be sharing my Gameweek 14 team selection. In this video, I'll be sharing my thoughts on my Gameweek 13 performance, the transfers that I plan to do this week, and the video will conclude with my team selection and the current plan for the team for Gameweek 14. As usual, feel free to like and subscribe if you found my video enjoyable. Alright, let's start the team selection video. So last week, I intended to transfer out Bowen if I had information that he was confirmed to be out. Moyes' comments on him was quite vague when it came to the injury situation, so I had hoped he would start. That was when I decided to bank the transfer when maybe I really should have made the move to transfer him out. I was planning on bringing in Cole Palmer for him, but he only scored 2 points, so I wouldn't have made that much of a difference. In the end, I finished Gaming 13 with 45 points. That has led to a very small red arrow from 2.1 million to 2.2 million. I projected Gaming 13 to be quite tough for my team as they were mostly facing each other, so ending it with a small red arrow is actually fine in my opinion. There wasn't that much of a point difference between the captaincy options in Holland and Salah this week, so it didn't really affect my rank that much. Lascelles was big though, scoring against Chelsea and therefore one win. Son was disappointing, as he could have had double-digit points on another day, having a few goals cancelled by VAR. Watkins had a lot of chances as well to grab a few more goals, but he ended the game with just one goal and a yellow, which was quite disappointing. Also, Mubama actually got minutes, like I mentioned in last week's video, but I totally forgot about Danny Ings, who started as the striker instead. It would have been interesting to have Mubama as West Ham's main striker when Antonio and Bowen are out. Other than that, my plan for this week is to transfer out Cash and Bowen. Cash hasn't been performing for quite a while, and Bowen is currently out for an uncertain amount of time. I've already got a few players in my mind to replace them with, so let's take a look in the next section. For this week's transfer targets, I have specifically chosen players that I believe are nailed to start games and get the most minutes in their respective teams. The reason is that Gameweek 14 to 16 happens in a span of 7 days. There is bound to be rotations coming from most teams, so I think it's right to have as many 90-minute players as possible in that period. The first player is Palmer, who was in my transfer targets for last week, where I was planning to bring him in to replace Bowen. I wasn't aware of Bowen's unavailability near the deadline, so I banked the transfer in the end, without knowing that Bowen didn't travel with the squad at all. Going back to Palmer, as I mentioned last week, bringing him in would free up so much funds that I won't be able to have the fear of getting priced out of moves. He's also Chelsea's current penalty taker, so that's a huge plus for a player priced at just 5.3 million. Chelsea's fixture run starts in Game Week 16, but bring him in early could do me good, as he faces a Brighton team who haven't had a single clean sheet this season. In my opinion, he is Chelsea's best player at the moment, and he's surely going to be involved if Chelsea scores. The second player I'm considering is Anthony Gordon. He's priced at 5.9 million, which is also very cheap for a starting player in a good team like Newcastle. I didn't really rate him when he was in Everton, but he looks like a completely different player in Newcastle. So far, he has returned in every home game this season. Coincidentally, he has a home game again this week against United. I think he's an asset with great value, and since he has a low price, it allows me to have more money in the bank, of course. The third player is Saliba. He's the first player that came to my mind as soon as I was thinking about male defenders to consider. He would be replacing Lamptey from my team, which will allow me to own another player that I can play when injuries come to my team or when I have to rotate over tougher fixtures. And Arsenal has been overall really great this season defensively. I believe the points potential by having both him and Gabriel that I already own right now is quite big. Their next two games are Wolves at home and Luton away. If they are able to get clean sheets in both games alone, that would result in a total of at least 24 points already just from two defenders in just 2 game weeks. Huge points potential from just Game 14 and 15 alone. So my current plan is to replace Bowen regardless of if he will be available or not this week. As I said before, that I want to bring in players who get the most minutes in the tight schedule of Game 14 to 16. Bowen might be available this week, but he might not start and only get minutes from the bench, and I really don't want that. I'm currently leaning towards bringing in Gordon over Palmer. I feel like Pochettino might rotate the team over the 3 games, and Palmer might not start all the 3 games, or even if he were to start all of them, he may be getting limited minutes. And upgrading my bench is also another objective of mine, so replacing Lamptey for a starting caliber defender like Saliba is what I'm intending to do this week. And this is what the team would look like if I were to bring in both Saliba and Gordon. Starting in goal, I have Areola. Palace at home is still going to be difficult to keep a clean sheet, even when Eze is out injured, as Olise is already back and is just as dangerous. West Ham hasn't kept a clean sheet since Gameweek 7 against Sheffield, so I won't be expecting much from Areola this week. For the defenders, I now have Gabriel, Saliba, and Cash. Gabriel and Saliba as Wolves at home. Not an easy opponent, but Arsenal has been performing well defensively, so I think they should be able to keep a clean sheet this week. Cash has Bournemouth away. He played badly against Spurs last week and even got subbed out in just 45 minutes. He's probably going to be leaving my team soon since Villa will be facing City and Arsenal in Game 15 and 16. So this will most likely be his last chance. For the midfield, I've got Salah, Son, Martinelli, Mbumo, and Gordon. Salah has Fulham at home this week, a captaincy option for sure with how leaky Fulham has been defensively. Son has City away. He was unlucky to have had so many goals overturned by VAR last week. Even without Madison, he's still able to get into good scoring positions, surprisingly, so he should be quite involved if Spurs were to score this week. Martinelli may look like a failed investment in this team, but I wouldn't want to judge him too quickly. I brought him in 2 weeks ago to replace Madison. I think it's right to look at the next 3 fixtures against Wolves, Luton, and Villa. By then, I'll be able to see if he was a success or a failure of a transfer. And then we have Mbumo, who has Luton at home. Easy fixture and a perfect time for him to start returning again, as Brentford's good fixture run starts now. Gordon has United at home. He might be able to continue his streak of returning at home now. United wouldn't be as difficult of a fixture for Newcastle at the moment, knowing how inconsistent United are this season. Newcastle beat them 3-0 in the Carabao Cup earlier this month, and that could easily happen again. For my forwards, I have Holland and Watkins. Holland has Spurs this week, who are still missing their main defenders. He's going to be one of my captaincy options as usual. Watkins has Bournemouth away. He should be able to get a goal or an assist as usual every week, but I love to see him get at least a double-digit point for once. So far, it has only happened during the time I sold him. He played well last week, but was unlucky to miss 2 headers, which would have resulted in a hat-trick. Let's see if he can play just as well this week. With Lamptey out of the team, my bench now looks way stronger than before, with 2 starting players in Lascelles and Taylor. I could start either one of them over Cash. I'll have to think it through until the deadline, as Lascelles is up against United, who I don't think can score against Newcastle, and there's Taylor, who is up against Sheffield, which I'd say is a 50-50 to get a clean sheet. Regarding the captaincy options, I think Salah and Holland are the best captaincy options as usual. Mbumo could be captain as well, as he faces Luton as well this week. The team looks way better than last week, where everyone was up against each other. Let's see if this team is able to get me a green arrow for this week. So far, I think I currently have Salah as my captain, but that could change. You can check out my Twitter to find out what the final team will look like. I'll be posting it during the deadline, so go ahead and follow my Twitter. Link is in the description. And that wraps up this week's team selection video. Good luck to everyone for Gameweek 14. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to be updated on my latest uploads. I'll be uploading every week, so stay tuned. Leave a comment if you'd like, and thanks for watching the video.